I got a special guest for you, man. This is
It's Donovan
Donovan
Ezeiruaku.
Ezeiruaku.
Oh, yo, D, you may be a great fit for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank you. I appreciate you. We'll see what happens.
Now take us through what your plans are doing right now, D. Like, first of all, you were a terrific end at BC. How do you handle the next couple days?
Honestly, I'm just, embracing it with my family, honestly. Not getting too high, not getting too low, kind of staying mellow-headed with it, trying to take the next, at least the past few days to, really spend time with the family before things get, extra hectic. But I'm excited for, what's to come. I'm excited for, tomorrow night. So yeah.
Look at that smile. You got it. What a smile you got, man. God bless you. God bless.
Thank you.
What's Philadelphia have to do? Like, when you think of Philadelphia, what do you think of?
When I think about Philadelphia, I think 20 minutes across that bridge. I grew up in South Jersey.
I know.
Went to Williamstown High School. I grew up a big Philly fan. At the same time, though, I said, if they don't come get me, then I can't be a Philly fan anymore. I apologize to mom, dad, 'cause they're all Eagles fans, but I got to be a fan of whatever team picks me, and that's how I feel about that.
But did mom and dad grow? Or I figured you were an Eagles fan growing up in Jersey.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be like just the idea, because you could be a perfect fit here. Like all I keep thinking about is you being here would be perfect. Like coming home.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time, like I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
There's some great, what's funny? There's some great football in South Jersey. What youth organization did you play for?
I played for the Monroe Township Braves. So I played for Monroe Township, and then I ended up going to Williamstown High School. So I stayed pretty local.
So I love this, right? Because I coach at Clearview, the Clearview youth, right? Because my kids play at Clearview, so I help the guys over there because we always played by the Monroe Township. That was we'd always play you guys. That's fantastic. And Williamstown, people don't understand. There's some incredible, great football in South Jersey.
No, there is. I think this year alone we have. I counted like 10 guys from South Jersey who went to South Jersey high schools that are entering the draft and are potentially going to get drafted this year. So I think there might be a couple more, but I think that speaks to the guys from down here. We kind of get overlooked by North Jersey sometimes, but this year we got a lot of guys going to that NFL draft.
Well, I got to applaud you on making decisions already, because to me you got the greatest agent around. And Trey.
I agree. I'm with you.
Trey, he's biased.
No, not at all, man. Because I know how much you care for your players. Like I know in your heart. Like that's why I'm thrilled that one of our own is in your hands.
No, for sure. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Just making sure that you fully invest, yourself, your time, your energy into just helping the young guys and their families develop and get through the process. But more importantly, the real work starts, once you get drafted, right? And you get to your new city/state, your new organization, just helping the transition become as seamless as possible. Just trying to do your best to add value. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, just making sure that these guys are successful, not just on the field, because that's the easy part, right? I can't make you a better football player, but what I can do is make sure I add every resource imaginable to your life and to your family's life to help you become successful and achieve all of your goals while you have this small window of opportunity.
Donovan, what advice would you give kids having gone through this process, from combine to all the interview process that you went through?
Yeah, honestly, I would advise young, guys coming out of college that, you need to have the right people around you. Like you said, I have one of the best agents, if not the best agent. I'm biased, so I'm gonna say the best, in the game. But that's so important because it's so much being thrown at you, and you need, a great team around you to help, delegate certain things, or to, you might need You might need to hurry up and fly out, somewhere to go visit a team, but the scheduling stuff, like you need a great team around you. And I think that's super duper important. And that's the biggest advice I would give, for a guy, going through this process.
Did you ever envision, like when did you first envision, you're at Williamstown, let's go back to high school. You're at Williamstown, and what's going through your mind as far as your own football career?
Yeah, I knew for a fact, since I was young that I wanted to play, in the National Football League. That's been my goal and my dream since, I started playing this game at 7 years old. But playing in Williamstown, obviously you go through some, trials, tribulations, whatever, some adversity. Not knowing if I was, big enough to go play college football, or, was I playing the right position? I wanted to play receiver, and it wasn't really working out for me. But I tried to. Thank God I know how to, find the football and tackle the person with the football, because and I did that relentlessly, because that's what opened the door for me to get to college. But credit to, the coaches that we had at the time, Coach Fuchitola, Coach George, Coach Seidenberg, Coach Ron, Coach Inge, all these guys that were over there. They helped me get to where I had to go. And then, credit to other coaches that are, in the South Jersey area, like, Coach Marcus Hammond, with NLG, Coach Preston, Coach B. Bather, like
Coach Sapp.
Coach Sapp, all these guys that helped me get to where I needed to go, So
yeah, Coach Marcus does a lot of good stuff with defensive ends and linebackers. Coach Polk, I don't know if you know Coach Polk. He does a lot of good work, getting your body ready for the combine and all that stuff in South Jersey. Some really strong resources. And Dre, this. A lot of kids don't know your position in high school, like what you're going to wind up, because your body is changing so much. So sometimes you don't know what you're going to be, whether you could be offense, defense. You just got to be a football player first.
Yeah, you look at Donovan, right? He played receiver, right? Tight end. He was a skill guy. You look at a guy like Hassan Reddick, who was a corner in high school, right? Safety, once he got the tempo, you just never know. So you have to be willing to, listen to the staff, trust them, trust their plan for you, and be developed, right? Be coachable, and understand that, where you go, they have your best interest. Just be willing to listen, be willing to work, and you never know how it turns out. Just be prepared, prepare for any and everything.
Hey, D, what's your dad and mom meant to this whole process with you? Like, how have they shared this journey with you? Being at your games. Like, listen, I got 2 football players myself, right? So I'm at every game, practice, you name it. So what have they meant to you in this journey?
Yeah, I just thank God for great parents, and parents that set a very strong foundation for myself and my brothers, in terms of our faith, and just as people. I think they've raised 4 great, young men, and they've meant so much to me, because, like I said, you need the right people around you. You need the right team. And my parents are very knowledgeable. They might not know everything that I know on the football field, but when it comes to, life and, discerning people and picking and choosing who we bring around, they're extremely pivotal in that. And then they're also, they're the type of parents that you can fall back on. You're going through a rough time, and they're very open people. So, we talk. There's never been that's never lacked in this household. We talk. You got something going on, you got something on your mind, let it out, and they'll be the ones that that carry that as well. And I really just appreciate them, because they've also sacrificed so much for me to get to where I am. So
D, I love that. I wanted to get them some love, because a lot of times the parents, I have this conversation with young people all the time about, like, listen, your coaches and trainers and all these people that you encounter, they don't love you like your parents love you. Like, when the thing ends, or there's something tough going on, there's the only people that really love you and care about you is your family. You know what I mean? The people that love you the most, that don't care about football. It's just about you.
But and here's a fascinating story. His mom was totally opposed to him playing football, right? Yeah. I think that gets overlooked throughout his journey. He was not supposed to be a football player, and then he was fortunate enough to have an ally in a gentleman by the name of Coach Antoine Sabb. He's a big time guy over in South Jersey, his sons are, he has two sons in high school right now that are like top 20 players in the country. And he has another, his oldest son, Keon Sapp, who's arguably the best safety in the country, returning next year for Alabama, right? So he's very influential over there in South Jersey. And, he saw Donovan at a young age. And he was like, no, this kid needs to play football. And he had the conversation with mom. Mom was against it, but she trusted, Coach Sapp and, trusted the plan. And it ended up working out, man. So, like Don said, it's pivotal to have a circle of influence around you that has your best interest at heart, right? Like, because without that, you're going to be lost.
I remember arguing with my wife about football. No, I don't want that playing. No. And I'm like, listen, first of all, it's youth, all right? So everybody thinks concussions and everything. Like, not that it can't happen, but you're not going to that speed when you're talking about big-time college football or high school football. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, listen, it builds something. It's a great sport. You got to and then I won the battle, but, I'm sure your mom was, no football for you.
Yeah, she was afraid of the injuries, like every mom would be, but
that's
it worked
a great
out.
Story. I love that story. Oh, God bless them, D, man, really. I think that's just beautiful. I'm hoping selfishly you're here, but wherever you go, D, we're going to be rooting for you.
I appreciate you. I
want to talk to you after you get drafted so we can celebrate you, okay?
All good.
I'll call Dre, all right?
Let's do it. Thanks,
D. Appreciate it, buddy.